The day started off with robins. Seeing these guys running across the ground, pausing, then tilting their head to the side as they scan the ground for any movement is a welcome sight. I've always admired their ability to find worms hidden under mud and dirt. Most of my jays are busy these days, but they still find time to visit, long enough for a peanut or two. Webster looked happy hopping around collecting them. Squawky was fine with staying up in a tree preening while he waited for Webster to be done. Even the new young male was here. Shortly after, Feisty J's mate and Feisty J came by too. Lentil's mate and a few of the chickadees came by as well. I put some seeds and peanuts on a nearby stump. Further in, I saw more of my jays. Hermoso, the little gray jay too. The new young jay was here too. Hermoso usually dominates him. Even though he didn't chase after him, it was like he stayed up in a tree to be up higher than him, like king of the castle. Next, I visited Sweet Girl in Blue. I stayed for one feeding. On my way out, some crazy squirrel chased me. So yappy too.
What?
It was a female. I could see that she is nursing, which made me feel a little sympathetic, so I gave her some seeds. She continued to bark the whole time she ate. I think she was upset with this guy. He didn't seem to care too much, though. On the way home, I checked on Feisty J and his mate. After that, my last birds was Hoppy and her mate.
Hoppy and her mate.
Feisty J's mate was the first to greet me today.
Feisty J's mate.
Angel, Minnie Tim, and a juvenile that's been hanging around them all winter was here too.
Angel. Minnie Tim. Young one.
I spotted a sweet Tanmore pair as well. It did get a peanut after. Up in Blue's territory, he had some unwelcome visitors. Squawky.
Good boy, Blue. Good boy. Yeah.
And Hermoso too. Hermoso stayed back a bit as to keep from getting in trouble, but Squawky kept ticking Blue off.
Blue after Squawky.
A white morph white-throated sparrow came by for a peanut. And Maggie dropped by quickly for one too.
Oh, Maggie.
After dealing with the other jays, Blue went back to searching for insects to bring back to the babies. Then the gray jay showed up. He tried to take the peanut butter bread over to his territory, but an angry robin chased him, causing the gray jay to drop his food. Oh, poor thing. Down by Hermoso's usual hangout, I tried getting some slow motion of him flying to the stump for a peanut. Blue ended up down here too. And then a northern goshawk. After that, I went to the brook. I've been wanting to go sit next to it and just relax for a while now. Even though I'm out in the woods a lot, I'm not actually getting to sit and just do nothing but watch what's around me. My mind and soul needed this little break. After a nice little break, I went up to see Sweet Girl. Hatch and Maggie greeted me on my way in. That yappy squirrel chased after me again.
What? What? Be good. Be good.
Then it was straight to Sweet Girl. It amazes me how they manage to keep up with feeding 5 very hungry mouths. On the way out, I saw a pine grosbeak pair. The female took care of her feathers while the male foraged on some seeds. They are such pleasant birds to watch. Everything is sprouting now. I made it just in time to catch a little bit of Feisty J feeding his 4 babies. His mate didn't arrive until after it was done. By the way, she does have a name now thanks to my good friend Jill Grant. Jill suggested Nova would be a good name for her because she's new and bright. I agree. Nova fits perfectly. Thanks again, Jill. For a young Jay, this girl is so smart and mature. I think she's going to do good in her life. As she provided warmth for her babies, a chipmunk came by. I have a soft spot for these buggers, and this was the first one I saw yet this year, which is really late. So I had it follow me far away from the nest and gave it some food. Then the little guys came. Angel, Minnie, Tim, and Lentil's mate. Very close to home, the last thing I saw was a lovely butterfly. Haven't seen much of them yet this year. Things are starting to feel right. My day started off with Sweet Girl. I love how comfortable she is with me being around. Blue, like usual, keeping good schedule with feedings, arrived soon after. Even though Sweet Girl doesn't do much of the food searching, she is almost always right there with him during every feeding to help. It's the same with Feisty J and Nova. Being provided such care and attention from both parents, it's no wonder that all 4, or in Blue and Sweet Girl's case, all 5 nestlings have made it this far. After the feeding, Feisty J got a drop of water, and even Nova came out to help search for food. Much further in, heading back toward home, I was greeted by Sweet Lentil, who was pretty hormonal.
Good girl, Lentil.
The chickadees and her mate were here too. I also saw a lovely junco perched in a nearby tree. How pretty all the new spreading leaves looked with the warm evening light on them. I saw Squawky perched in a limb scanning the ground and preening. I bet he has nestlings now too. When I got to Sweet Girl, I saw her feed the babies, and then she went somewhere close by to preen. A half hour later, she fed them again. It was pretty cold today, and eventually Sweet Girl got in the nest to provide them with some cover and warmth. Normally, Blue comes by to feed the babies every half hour to an hour, but today he was later than usual, like well over an hour. I think the cold weather was making it harder for him to find insects, and that's why feeding wasn't as frequent. And I bet that's why Sweet Girl was feeding them too. She was picking up the slack. Plus, they are getting bigger. Hermoso ended up coming by, which ticked Blue and Sweet Girl off, so I left so that Hermoso would follow me out. Silly boy. I wanted to see Blue and Sweet Girl again, so I went back up and saw them both take turns feeding the babies. On my way out, a tan morph chased me, This little one is such a sweetie, I see it all the time. A lot of the sparrows take the peanut and run, but this one always stays to eat it. I saw Hermoso one last time before leaving for the day. The wind was picking up and it was beginning to rain. While I waited for my ride, I recorded some spider webs and the leaves. Everything looked beautiful. I didn't get out yesterday, so I was eager to check on Blue and Sweet Girl. I saw Blue feeding the babies. After he was done, Sweet Girl came to the nest to get rid of any parasites. Then she covered them over as best she could. They are getting pretty big now. On the way out, I saw Hatch, and then Speck the boreal chickadee too.
Speck.
Out further, Hermoso came by. I bet his mate will have nestlings soon.
Hermoso.
I noticed that the leaves of some trees are starting to come out now. The gray jays came by as well. I finally have names for them.
Boy.
The male is Tuffy and the female is Bella. Tuffy and Bella.
Girl.
Next I checked on Nova, Feisty Jay's mate. She was perched on the edge of the nest instead of covering the nestlings. They seemed pretty hungry. A squirrel ended up coming by. Nova wasn't thrilled about that at all. It was interested in the pine cones, but Nova isn't dumb. She knows that a squirrel would take her nestlings if it found her nest. She wants it out of here and won't stop until it's gone. After getting rid of the squirrel, Feisty Jay arrived with food for the hungry babies. All went well. My morning started out with sweet little Angel. She ate a few seeds and then went back to nesting. After that, it was Blue and Sweet Girl. The nestlings were moving around a bit in the nest. Must be getting pretty crammed in there these days. With them getting so big, Sweet Girl doesn't be on the nest as much. Great time to catch up on some preening. As the nestlings rested, their father searched for food. Once his crop is full, he'll go to the nest. How big they've gotten. My gosh, Blue, what a great provider you are. He waited for the fecal sacs and then dropped them off on the limbs of trees away from the nest. Sweet Girl checked on the babies, and shortly after, Blue came to the nest with a little bit more food. On my way to visit Hermoso, the gray jays came by. I had some natural peanut butter on whole wheat bread for them.
Good girl.
I spotted Hermoso in a nearby tree watching. Doesn't take long for him to show up. I think Hermoso keeps on lookout for me. On my way to Nova's nest, I saw a female yellow-rumped warbler in a lovely tamarack tree. She looked so nice with all the pink flower cones around her. A male was here with her too. At the nest, Feisty J arrived with some food. He fed the babies and then off again to find more. Then the little guy showed up for some seeds and peanuts. Lentil's new mate is so skittish.
Lentil.
I love the sounds female red-breasted nuthatches make when they are in the breeding season. Well, the baby blue jays are getting pretty big now, and spring has really set in. It's nice to see everything blooming and hearing the birds singing. I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for the next one when we get to see some fledgling blue jays and much more spring birding adventures. Thanks for watching. Happy birding! Just one more thing before I go. For all you people out there who love blue jays, check out this book, Saving Jemima, Life and Love with a Hard Luck Jay. I'm so proud and honored to have been mentioned a few times in this charming book written by writer, artist, and naturalist Julie Zickafoose. This book means the world to me because Julie details her experience so well with rehabilitating a baby blue jay she named Jemima. She helped me understand my jays a little better, and she helped to put a good light on these misunderstood birds. I'm very grateful to Julie for shining a positive light on blue jays and providing such a lovable insight. If you'd like a copy of this book, you can get one from Amazon.com. People in the US have the option of getting a signed copy through RedStartBirding.com. Thanks so much for your time. Take care. Happy birding.